The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply. USAA.
Hi, this is Chris Barnes from the Australian Pink Floyd Show, and you're listening to the Dr. Sky Experience on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dr. Sky Experience, heard exclusively here on Talk Radio 77 WABC, beaming out of the largest city in America, New York City, around the nation, around the world, and I'm sure out into the cosmos. The Dr. Sky Experience contains great information, as you tell us, from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather, with celebrity guests in the mix. We call WABC the crown jewel of radio, for a good reason. It's iconic. It is the iconic 77, Talk Radio 77 WABC. Well, folks, for a great musical experience, I myself have seen this particular band in session, and I can give it a higher rating than if there was a 10 on the scale. It goes literally off the chart. I'm talking about the Australian Pink Floyd show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and a magnificent show that they produce, not only here in America, but all over the world. And Sunday, they come to the main stage at the Chandler Arts Center here in Chandler, Arizona at 7 p.m. And joining us on the line today, we're privileged and honored to have Chris Barnes, lead vocals for the Australian Pink Floyd show. Chris, welcome to the Dr. Sky Experience. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, and thanks for having me on the show. Nice to be here.
Oh, God bless, because let me say this again, folks, listening to this archive, the Dr. Sky Experience. If you love Pink Floyd, I'm telling you this, don't just take it from me. Take it from all the accolades that they have on their website. This is a show that you shouldn't miss. Chris, is it also fair to say that even those performers of Pink Floyd themselves actually said that you guys are equal, if not better, than some of the performances that they did? That's incredible, and I'm sure it's true.
Well, it's that was a quote from Nick Mason, and I mean, he's been very, very nice, very flattering to hear things like that. But sure. I do think it was a bit tongue-in-cheek for him to say, "Oh, they play it better than we do," you know. But Nick's always said lovely things about us. He's a very nice man.
Wow. Well, as a tribute band, you were formed back in 1988. Tell us the story from way down south, below the equator. How did this band get started? Let's talk a little bit about the history.
So the band began in Adelaide in South Australia. Just a bunch of guys who wanted to get together in a room and play Pink Floyd songs because they were just big Pink Floyd fans. And then they seeked out some gigs, and then they worked the Australian circuit for about 5 years and kind of realised they'd kind of done the circuit. There's not that many people in Australia, and because the band had got some UK connections through family and whatnot, they relocated to the UK in '93 to tackle the UK and Europe, and that led to the band's profile raising. I first saw them in 1999 in my hometown of Manchester in the UK, and they were playing to like 1,000 people, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. This is just ridiculous. There's 1,000 people. This is a tribute band. You know, this is not what you expect. And the band just grew and grew and grew, and I kept my eye on them over the years and would go and see them in concert, and production got bigger. The band got bigger. Suddenly there was girl singers and a sax player, and the production was bigger and more, more adventurous, should we say. And then here we are now. I'm talking to you in 2023. I've been in the band 8 years now, so it's
wow.
It's just a wonderful journey to be on.
Well, absolutely, and I love the way this whole band has come together because, you know, there's 12 people, ladies and gentlemen, and forgive me, Chris, if I'm missing some of the people. Steve Mack, Jason Sanford, Paul Bonney, David Fowler, Ricky Howard, yourself, Luke Lapine, Lorelei McBroom, Emily Lynn, Lara Smiles, Mike Kitson, and Alex Francois. I mean, this is amazing. And what people need to understand, too, Chris, is the music is also accentuated by probably, in my opinion, one of the best sight sound stage shows. I mean, you guys really knock it out of the park. I saw people from my row. We were about 5 rows from the stage. I mean, they were standing ovations in between songs, and that's exactly the kind of energy that you guys impart. So congratulations on this amazing show, Australian Pink Floyd show. And I want to make sure that people know that all throughout this interview, you can go to Aussie Floyd, that's AUSSIE Floyd.com to learn so much more. Talk a little bit more about this. You've sold over 5 million tickets in 35 countries, described here as welcome to the biggest spectacular Pink Floyd show on the planet. That is incredible. And talk a little bit more about the audience. I mean, we're talking not just people of the age when Pink Floyd was, started as a band, but this is I saw people there of all different ages, and obviously people love this. So a little bit more about the popularity of the band and some of the places that you performed, some of the most amazing stories that we'll get into here in this short interview with Chris Barnes here on the Dr. Sky Experience. Glad to have you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess because the music that we're honouring by doing these concerts is so universally loved, and it's multi-generational. It's not, like you say, it's not just people who were there in the 70s, who are now in their 70s, who loved the band back in the day, or maybe in the 80s or whatever. I look out and see people the age of my kids and people my age, and it is a multi-generational thing because Floyd's music is so universal. The lyrics talk about, especially on Dark Side this year, with us doing the 50th year of Dark Side of the Moon. It's that album in its entirety played, and people go on that journey with you, and they know every single lyric. The lyrics are still relevant today. It's topics that, the stresses of modern life back in 73 are still relevant now. The fear of death, the worries about money. Let's face it, we're all worried about money these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just think looking out and seeing different ages of people out there, it's just nice. You're not just playing to an audience that's slowly dying off. There's the many younger generations coming through, which is brilliant to see.
Absolutely. Great to have you here. And I know you've just come on the road as you continue to be on the road. Where were you guys? In Vegas and San Diego? Just before you're going to be arriving here in Chandler. Yeah. I'm currently in San Diego at the moment. Yeah, we've got a second show here tonight. That's beautiful. Beautiful place to be. And I just want to remind people, Chris, for our audience, WABC, which is headquartered out of New York City, but broadcasting, as I said, proudly around the nation, around the world, and who knows, maybe out even into the cosmos. For our friends in the New York area, you have a concert scheduled here in Rochester, New York, September 20th at the Kodak Center. And don't forget, September the 21st, the Capitol Theater in New York City. That's Port Chester, New York. Great travels as you go across America and around the world. So just a couple of other questions here about about the whole band. I mean, it's just so amazing. I mean, to set all this stuff up, I mean, you must have some incredible stage hands because it's not just a microphone and a musical instrument, drums and, bass guitar and singers. You've got like a whole complement. It's almost like a whole city that you have to set up on stage. That must take an incredible amount of precision. Talk a little bit about the technical side, because what you show in lasers, sound, and all other kinds of things is literally stuff of almost like a dreamscape. Would that be a fair way to say it? A dreamscape on stage. Incredible. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, the thing about Pink Floyd was that they were always on the cutting edge of technology in terms of like stage production with lights and the video screen and lasers, etc. As things were coming out, the Floyd were the first people on the block to be using this equipment. And obviously, as technology has improved over the years, things, you don't need a huge amount of stuff compared to the old days now, and things are a lot more reliable. Equipment from back in the 70s needed much maintenance, as it were, and care and attention looking after it. Things are a lot more durable now. But yeah, we're still traveling with, we've got the band on one tour bus and the crew on another tour bus. So there's band in one, and it's just, how can I put it? It's a well-oiled machine. I think that's the way to describe it, really.
Exactly.
I'm just guy who stands in the middle and sings. That's it. But yeah, the crew are, they're there at the start of the day, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. And they're not getting into bed till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning the next day, really. And then they've got to do it all again the following day.
Amazing. A lot of stamina, a lot of vitamins, and a lot of positive energy. But I wanted to ask you, this is kind of interesting, as you move forward to talk with us here on the Dr. Sky Experience, what I find fascinating is, what other bands do you like? And tell us a little bit more about how you got started in the music world, because you see so many young folks out there, and maybe some people that are a little older than young, that have that dream of getting into the music industry. How did you get started, and then end off with maybe some of the bands that you really like in today in modern music, or even old?
Yeah, okay. Well, when I was growing up, my dad was a musician. He was a bass player in an Elvis tribute that sort of toured around the UK. And when that ended, he set up a band that played sort of 60s pop stuff, Beatles, Stones, Who, Kinks, that kind of music. And when I got to about 14, I'd already been playing with friends in bands and stuff at school, and he just said to me, if you want to do this properly, why don't you join us and come out and do this full time as you're like passing your apprenticeship, doing this in the clubs of the north of the UK, which is a brutal circuit, to work on. And I kind of earned my stripes doing that, and then along the way was in bands with friends, and I've literally done a billion different things. And then my introduction to the Aussie Floyd was through the drummer, Paul. His daughter was a student at a music workshop that I ran for kids in our hometown. And I got talking to him one night, and he just said, if ever anything came up with the band, would you be interested? And I was like, yes, I would. I'd seen the band many times by that point, And to answer your question about other music that I like, my standard answer when people say things like that is I love everything from the Carpenters to Slayer. I have a very eclectic taste in music, from Miles Davis to, I don't know, The Doors or something.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of music out there, and it's amazing to talk with you today about this. But, this is also interesting for me to hear about. I looked in here on the website, and again, it's AussieFloyd.com. Learn so much more about this particular iconic band, where they're coming to a theater in town near you, which is obviously coming here on this Sunday, August 20th, 7 p.m., the main stage at the Chandler Arts Center, various places around the nation and around the world.
Hey, you, out there on your own, sitting naked by the phone, would you touch me? Hey, you, with your ear against the wall, waiting for someone to call out, would you touch me? Hey, you, would you help me to carry the stone? Open your heart, I'm coming home.
On your website, if you don't mind having you share this, a funniest moment on stage with the band. You go into something I think is absolutely hilarious, but not necessarily hilarious if it happens to each one of us. Tell us about that story. That is amazing.
Oh, the story about, I'm trying to remember, is it the one about me not being able to get back on stage?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, yeah. Chris. Tell us.
So, obviously, as a singer in a Pink Floyd band, there are lots of spaces in the music, and there's no point me standing on stage during guitar solos because I just look ridiculous. So I tend to go off the stage, and, you know, on one of the occasions in a song, I nipped off and thought, I could just nip to the toilet now, and I'm in my stage gear. You know, with the in-ear monitors and everything. And as I'm walking back, someone says, "Oh, can I see your pass?" And I don't have my pass. Is on my jeans. And I say, "Well, I haven't got my pass. Look, I'm in the band and I'm showing him the radio pack and I'm showing him my ears." And the guy's going, "No, I'm sorry, if you've not got a pass, you can't." And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I've got to be on stage in a sec because I've got to sing the next verse. And I could hear the guitar solo build into a climax, and I'm thinking, oh, God.
Right.
And then luckily a member of the crew saw me and said, "Oh, no, he's in the band, he's got to be on stage." And I ran up and just got to the microphone in time for the next verse or whatever it was I had to sing. But yeah, it's, yeah. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time.
No, I mean, I'm laughing with you, not at you, because look how many times this could happen to somebody. You're performing and you're doing something. Hey, if you're the lead singer, you got to be back on stage. But they're only doing their job, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not that guy's fault. It was just amusing in the sense of, well, this will just be my luck. So the band will go into the verse and they'll be like no one singing. So yeah, absolutely. Luckily that didn't happen.
Well, Chris, just a few more moments with you, but we're going to do this. You won't hear it, but the audience will. We're going to be now playing some excerpts from the magic of the Australian Pink Floyd show so people can get in the groove and get into the mood as they listen to this iconic band as a tribute band, but even more so in my mind because I was there, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you firsthand this really rocked it out of the park, out of the theater, out of the entire, audience was just on their feet. So let's hear some of that. So, Chris, that's amazing. And again, we wish you great success. We look forward to seeing you folks on Sunday here in Chandler at the Chandler Arts Center, 7 p.m. Get tickets wherever tickets, good tickets. They're all tickets. Wherever tickets are sold, you know where to go. And don't forget, you can find out so much more about our special guest and the entire band by going to AussieFloyd.com. Thank you so much. This is an amazing time, and it's just an amazing band. So we just welcome you to Arizona. And for all of us listening on WABC, I just want to remind you again, they're coming September 20th to Rochester, New York's Kodak Center. September the 21st, the Capitol Theater, New York City, Port Chester, New York. Learn so much more. Chris, stay on the line with us as we go to the hard break at the bottom of the hour here. Again, Chris Barnes, lead singer, vocals, the Australian Pink Floyd show, coming to a theater near you. Thank you so much for your time as we end this edition of the Dr. Sky Experience. And we always remind people, Chris, always remember to keep your eyes to the skies, but your feet on the ground. We wish you and the band great success. Thank you.
Thank you very much.